Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday night chat. Already got a pretty good panel here. There may be a few more people join in. I'm not sure. I got some invites sent out. But in the meantime, I got Rick's on the phone. He'll have to do an intro here in a little bit. But I'm going to let Blue and Daniel do an intro, and I'm going to start with Blue. Go right ahead.
Well, thanks for the invite, as always. A lot of stuff going on throughout the nation this last week that I think we'll probably touch on a couple things and a couple fake news articles, FBI probes, that type of stuff. So I can't wait to get this thing started. But good to see everybody out there in the external, and good to see you guys here on the chat. So let's get this thing rocking.
Absolutely. Daniel, would you like to do an intro, man?
Hi. That's about it. Thanks, TR, and nice seeing you, Rick, Blue, and everybody on the side chat.
Well, appreciate you being on here, man. I do appreciate it. Rick, can you talk? You want to do an intro?
I sure can. I'm off the phone. Appreciate it as always, TR, Blue, Daniel for showing up. And other than that, we got we're trying to hook up CMAX, so we got a hashtag save CMAX. If you haven't seen those videos all out right now, basically there's a kind of a flash giveaway going on, so where you donate money to his account, basically his fund, and you can enter into the raffle. We're trying to help him out right now. He's got a lot of extra bills, and he's trying to get to Houston, Texas, to do some operations or cancer stuff. So good luck with that. But other than that, we've raised like quite a bit of money in the last, I don't know, what, 6, 7, 8 hours. So that's definitely going to help out getting him and his family to the hospital there in Houston. So that's it.
Yeah, really good cause. I like I said, I've been at work. I've seen all the videos. I hadn't seen all the videos. I've seen they came out. I watched C-Max's video. So I got to do a little catching up on that. And yeah, and it's I think everybody out there has probably been touched with somebody in their family being sick or cancer, no matter what it is. And insurance or not, it's very, very costly. I know. Well, anyway, we won't want to get too far into it, but I know, like, for those that don't know, my wife had cancer and fought it for years, and it's just very, very, very costly. Besides the medical costs, there's just all these other costs and copays and medicines, and it's just overwhelming. It really is. So, if anybody can help, look up the videos, you'll find them. And if you can pitch in a little bit, $10, whatever, it's all appreciated. Very much so. All right. With that, well, I guess the elephant in the room is the school shooting, and we could attack this from all different ways. Of course, we know the liberal media and Hollywood is crying gun control, ban AR-15s, restrict AR-15s, blah, 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 blah. Does anyone want to start with that?
Well, it'd be a good start. How we want to attack it is the tough one. I would say that, that's always the first thing they're going to attack is the inanimate object that runs around and hurts people that, has no ability to do so. But no, you're talking mental health issues again. You're talking a tragedy, unfortunately, but it happens. But with that said, those same weapons that take people's lives in a horrific way are the same firearms that stop those mass shootings as well. And I think it basically boils down to gun-free zones. It always seems that most of this happens in a gun-free zone, and if you were to maybe get rid of the gun-free zones, this would be less likely to happen. We could hope for, but there's always going to be evil. whether there's guns or not. There's going to be cars, there's going to be bombs, there's going to be hammers and knives and all the other bullshit that can hurt people. So at the end of the day, the only way to protect yourself is a firearm, or at least the best way to protect yourself. So I don't know. It's unfortunate, but it happens. And if you take the numbers, as horrific as they are, they're a small number compared to deaths by DUI, death by pools. More kids are killed by pools, and most people are killed by physicians, basically, is one of the higher numbers. But it does happen. You think of a number, what's a high number? Well, at the end of the day, it's a human life, and that's, one's too many. But a lot of those numbers and statistics are actual bad people as well, that were trying to do harm to other people. So you can't really take those numbers and you got to take them with a grain of salt as well. I don't know if that sounds bad or not, but that's kind of basically my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm going to find it again. I know it's not hard to find all the stats. I mean, technically, if you're not in a gang or live in a gang-infested city like Chicago or whatever, your risk of death by a gun from homicide is 0.0008. It's one of the safest countries in the world to live in. I won't say the safest, but one of, to not get killed by a gun. But if you use the wrong number, that's it. That's taking out suicides, justifiable shootings, including police and stuff like that. Then there's a number that's left over, and it's like then you would be there was only like 1,700 homicides in 2000. It might have been 2016. They're usually about a year, 2 years behind on the FBI stats. I think it was like 17,000 murders. It's not, they say gun related deaths, and it's always like 35,000, but that's, so many. I mean, a big chunk of it is suicide, and then a good chunk is justifiable shootings, self-defense, like I said, police involved shootings and things like that. And then what's left is, accidents, which is a very, very, very small number. And I'm sure there's some other stuff. But anyway, it turns out to be like 17,000. And then out of that 17,000, 8,000 were gang related. So that puts you at like 9,000 homicides by firearm, with a population close to, or probably is over 350 million people with guns. Guns are not really an issue. I know it don't look right. Well, we can go on and on and on with stats. More people killed with knives and rifles, and heroin kills twice as many people as fucking guns every year, and it's already illegal. What more can you do? Anyway, I'll shut up now.
What are your guys' thoughts on the FBI dropping the ball again? I don't want to say again, but they had complaints about this dickhead, and they admitted that they never followed up on it, followed through.
Well, I don't know that from what I understand, the police had been called to that address for whatever reason 30-something times. The FBI had been alerted at least once or twice that this guy had done this or said this. I don't know that he had still done enough to take his guns away, his right to own a gun. But he definitely should have been on a list. He definitely should have been interviewed or something. I'm not saying throw him in a mental institution or whatever, but doing nothing was definitely not the right answer. I'm not saying they could have stopped it, but it should have flown up on people's radar. I mean, I sometimes worry about just how much shooting I do on my property that somebody ain't called the FBI or something on me saying, hey, there's a gun nut up there and he's got a full auto machine gun, which I don't. But because I had my neighbor done said that to me one time before. I heard you shooting your machine gun. I was like, I don't have one. I was just pulling the trigger really fast. I don't have a bump fire or nothing like that. I don't have a binary trigger, but you know, they just hear bam, 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 bam. They just automatically thought it was a machine gun, you know, or full auto weapon, whatever.
Now, what would you guys do? Let's say, because we all have videos out there where we're shooting guns. TR, you have that controversial Antifa video out there with thousands of comments, which I'm sure a lot of them are very negative. Are you reporting everybody that says they're going to kill you or they're going to attack somebody to the FBI over YouTube comments? Because apparently that's where this complaint came into through the FBI, that it was a comment on a YouTuber's channel that said he was going to be a professional school shooter.
Yeah, me and Tool Monkey was talking about that yesterday, and that is definitely on my agenda. I had to work this weekend, and I worked long days, so I hadn't had time to do it, but I need to go back and review the comments. Most of them are just idiotic insults to me. I actually had one like 15 minutes ago because I got a notification on my phone, but it was just insulting me. It wasn't a death threat or anything like that. Just most of them have been insults. But I do have over 5,000 comments on that one video. And if there's ever a video I have that somebody said something questionable, like I say, I got flooded with them so much and so hard and so fast that, you know, if I get 10, I don't know how it is with you guys. If I get like 10 or 100 comments on a video, I get one notification, you know, if they happen fast enough. So I don't see them all. I have not read and seen all the comments on that particular video just because it got flooded so hard and so fast. So I got to go back and look to see if there's anything questionable. I know that I'm not trying to be the Mr. Tattletale, whatever, but if there's something there that maybe I should at least look at and make my own assessment if there's anything that was, you know, a little bit overboard. I don't know, but I do need to go look at that. I do, and I plan on it. Like I said, me and Tool Monkey talked about it yesterday.
Oh, with all this going on recently, and it's been going on for a long time, this is just a symptom of the sickness of the liberal media, the liberal, left side. I mean, what is that? HR 4819 that's going through the Congress and Senate stuff right now about identifying who is a domestic terrorist, and they're pointing the finger at whites, Christians, constitutionalists, Second Amendment, and out in California, they're lessening the penalties for committing a crime with the guns. They're throwing that out, so they're lessening the penalty for criminals, but then making it harder on law-abiding citizens to defend themselves. I mean, they go out and say that on what, that TV show where those women sitting around blabbing their mouths about how Christianity is a mental illness. Okay, this country's in a mental illness.
Don't act like that's not on your speed channels or favorites. You watch The View all the time.
Oh, that's the name of it.
I think.
Hey, but everybody knows I turned my TV off months ago. Yeah, when I start thinking that one girl whose name starts with an O is hot, it's time to unplug.
Yeah, that's there's been a little backlash on that. I mean, even Mike Pence himself did a little. I don't know if that was the entire thing, but I know I watched the video where he did a response to, what is her name? Hell, I can't even remember now. Whatever it was, one of those bitches on The View, and it's just like, whether you have faith or not, or believe in a religion or not, these are the same people that are pushing that Islam is love and all that. And then you have somebody that's a white Christian that tells their feelings and beliefs and thoughts and what have you. Oh, that's a mental illness. That guy's got a mental illness if he's talking to God. But yet you're the same people that's saying Islam is love and it's a true religion and blah, blah, blah. It's like, make up your mind. Is religion good or is it bad? Is faith good or is it bad? I guess it's only bad if you're white conservative. Unless I missed something.
Yeah, well, I just want you to know, I want to run for class president at FEMA Camp 429, and I'd like all your votes. Because they'll be coming to get me. I'm at the front of the line.
That was pretty blatant. If all the shit they've said, I thought that was like, well, y'all really pushing it, ain't you? You really pushing it. The same ones that push for, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes or whatever. And I have mixed feelings on the subject, but these liberals, we got to save the kids. We got to save the kids. This one life and blah, blah, blah. It's time to act. I mean, just fucking screaming and yelling about AR-15s, but they're okay with abortion and they should be free and the government should give them out and da, 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 da. I hate to step on that subject, but facts are facts.
You just gave me an idea about the whole, if it just saves one life. Okay, everybody out there that gets the NRA magazines, what's the first part of it you read? Those where people use a gun to defend themselves or other people and saves a life. We ought to cut that out and mail it to those politicians on the left that say, if it just saves one life, we can mail them the article and show them how it's saved multiple lives.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be funny.
See, now I've got kids in school. You do too, Daniel, correct? I think he does. Anyway, my thought is, if the government wants to really start curtailing this problem, arm teachers. By all means, arm the teachers. And that's a big debate in and of itself, because, I realize that nobody wants to take on that responsibility, but I would rather my kids' teachers have a gun than not, if something like that were to happen in their school.
Arm them. I mean, yes, I got kids. I got one in college, one in high school. And you guys are like me. You probably took your guns to school during hunting season when you were in school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had that discussion many times, because you and your buddy at a certain age, after, what was it, 16, you go out small game hunting after school.
And if we were worried about our guns getting stolen, we could just bring them in and put them in the principal's office. Yeah, it was great back then. No one got shot. We made mortars and cannons in shop class.
Well, now I heard somebody a different point of view talking about this, and it hadn't really hit me, but these same people that are so worried about guns in school, I don't know why. I don't get it. I mean, I kind of get it, but I don't get it. These same people that are screaming that, well, we can't have armed people in our schools. Do they lock their kids up in their car if they go into a bank with an armed guard? If they see a policeman, do they go run and hide their kids? If you're in a carry state, you can be in freaking Walmart. There's liable to be dozens of people armed in there, whether you know it or not. What's the difference? If you got your kid in Walmart and you're picking out your bananas and milk and buying a new desk or whatever you're doing in there, and somebody walks by you, they're liable to have a gun. What's the difference? If you're so worried about a gun just being within the vicinity of your kid, why do you take them outside? Why do you not have them locked up in the house and only take them to school and back?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
what's the freaking difference?
The problem is they want to have a common sense discussion about gun laws. And the only one that's talking common sense is TR. They don't know the definition of common sense. That's it right there. Hello, SoCal.
Anyway, what's up, guys? How's it going? Thanks for having me on, TR. I don't know if you guys watch him, but I've been watching this guy for a long time, even before he got hooked up with the NRA. But Coleon Noir put out a video, I think, a couple days ago. I don't know what it was, but speaking to the fact that we have all these gun-free zones, and 9 times out of 10, when you have a massive kind of casualty event like at the high school or Columbine or the movie theater, or pick a place, it's either schools, movie theaters, or whatnot, they're usually gun-free zones where people are not allowed to carry their firearms to protect themselves. And he put it really well in that, if you look at places like government buildings, courthouses, airports, you don't get a lot of mass shootings there because there's metal detectors and prevention mechanisms that keep people from bringing guns into places like that. So why not start introducing first metal detectors into these schools? And yeah, it's probably going to take a long time for the kids to get into the class and whatnot, but and probably clean up the schools a lot faster than anybody had ever imagined. As well as why not train any of the teachers that are interested in going through a fairly decent qualification type course, how to handle a firearm, defensive shooting, etc., etc. It could make a big difference.
Well, I heard there was a security guard at the Florida school, but he was unarmed.
Right?
If
stop, or I'll say stop again.
Yeah, I mean, a security guard that's not armed is just to call the police when something happens. You've got how many thousands of kids in that school? I guarantee you, every freaking one of them's got a phone that can dial 911.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with arming the teachers that want to be armed. There's a lot of teachers that have concealed weapon permits already. I agree with giving them additional training, because that's a situation that not everybody, as much as we may train for a self-defense situation, that's not necessarily the same thing as a crowded school and there's a viable threat just trying to mow people down. I mean, that's a whole different situation that we like to think that we're capable of handling, but additional training is needed, no doubt. And it would definitely have to be a volunteer basis. You couldn't just arm. Oh, you got to be armed. You got to be armed. You can't do it that way.
No, you have to want to do that.
A lot of people talk about, retired veterans, retired police, just volunteer veterans, volunteer police. And I think that's a great idea. And I think arming teachers that want to be armed is a great idea too. I know my buddy Tool Monkey, he says you need to put a sniper on the top of the school. I agree with that. I'd say have 2, especially if you get volunteers that don't even want to be paid. Hey, guess what? You feed them breakfast, lunch, and they're okay with that. Have 2 of them so they can switch off, have a sniper on the roof, have a roving guy. That way they can take breaks, eat lunch and all that. Because a sniper on the roof, if you stop them before they get into the school, if you got a guy just walking around in a big school, he can't be everywhere at one time. No different than police on the street. But if you got a guy on the roof and he sees somebody, if somebody's concealing a Glock or a pistol or something, you may not know that. But if he's carrying a freaking AR-15, he's kind of got to stand out. Stop him before he gets to the doors, You
can put one of those high, they used to have them at the airport before the TSA kind of took over, but, they have those high volume metal detectors where people can, flood through this thing. It'll pick up on a gun and then just have either a cop or, a security guy, whatever, be standing there and be like, hey, you, come here. You set the alarm off. Let me look in your backpack. I can't think of anything that I've ever carried to high school that would set a metal detector off. Nothing like a project or anything like that. Look, I brought this, like, you know.
Well, almost, I won't say all, I can't say all. Most of these shootings is somebody that's not even going to school there, or if they're going to school there, they're not showing up during the normal times to come and leave. They're showing up at oddball times. I mean, that guy was 19 years old. He wasn't a freaking kid. He showed up at whatever time it was. It's not like he was just carrying an AR-15 and with everybody else going to 8 o'clock class.
Yeah, he planned it.
Yeah, there's only been 3 school shootings this year, just in case anybody don't know. There's only been 3 shootings, and my hands are dirty. I just got off work. 3 and every bathroom was out of fucking soap. Can you believe that? Anyway, 3 shootings this year.
Where did just really quick? Where did you put your hairnet?
I'll throw it in the trash.
Oh man, you gotta wear that on the show one day.
I could auction it off. Anyway, they keep saying the 18 school shootings. There's only 3. One of them was in South Carolina. One of them was in Florida. I forget where the other one was. A school shootings. The other ones was a shooting happened within 1,000 feet or 1,000 yards of the school. A bullet went through a window that was some kind of shooting down the road. There were some suicides. It just list of stuff. It wasn't what we would call a school shooting, but the news is blasting out. There's been 18 shootings already this year. No, they hadn't. But getting back to what we was talking about, almost all of them, I know the one in South Carolina and the one in Florida. I don't know about the other one. Who the shooter showed up, during the day, just by itself. That's where the sniper thing comes in. I'm not saying that'd be 100%, but that makes more sense than one roving guy with a gun or a couple of teachers, which is still better than nothing. But I agree. Put a guy on the roof. If somebody's got a long arm, I don't care if it's a shotgun, AK, AR, 22, whatever, he's going to kind of stand out. He shows up in between classes or whatever. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This guy's walking up to the campus with a gun. It won't be hard to spot.
Mm-mm.
And it's not that there's people that do that shit all day, every day. There's people sit on the damn White House looking through a damn scope for fucking 8, 10, 12 hours. That's their job.
I don't know that I mean, it's a good idea just to kind of surveil the outside of the schoolyard and whatnot, but most of the action, from what I've noticed in the umpteen last shootings, is everything happens on the inside of the school.
Yeah, I mean, the sniper on the roof, I think, is a little bit far-fetched for one cost-wise. With the way that security systems are anymore, you could have a central hub with all the outside cameras, have somebody that monitors those 24/7. Well, I don't want to say 24/7, but whenever school's in session or there's, a dance or a game or something like that, and then maybe have a couple rovers throughout the school itself. And then if the guy monitoring the outside cameras sees somebody walking up to an entrance that's not a main entrance, automatically send people that way. I mean, I don't know. I think that the sniper might be a little too far fetched as far as you're thinking about one sniper covering at a minimum, if it's a square building, 4 sides, and most school complexes are a main square building with an offshoot here, with an offshoot here. I don't see that being feasible. But with technology today, cameras would be the way to go, I think.
Well, now getting back, I've seen a lot of people put in there the cost. Remember what I started out with: volunteers. If you got people that will volunteer their time to do this, even if you have to come up with a training program, okay, you want to be on the program. I said volunteers. So yeah. Now, does every school need to pay a sniper? No, I was talking about like 2 guys, at least 2 guys or ladies, at every school armed, minimum. That's what I would want. If you want to fix it, I don't want to turn the damn schools into a prison. I'm just saying you've got 2 people armed minimum, so they can break each other out. Have the cameras and all that. Have one guy watching the cameras, one guy on the roof. Take breaks, do a schedule, whatever. You know, I mean, if they're already in, if you wait till they're inside and they start shooting, it's a little late to try to go rush them. I ain't saying you couldn't stop deaths from happening, but he's already in the building by then. If it's in the far, if you're in the middle of the school with a hub with the cameras and all that, and some of these schools are really big, somebody could be in the building even if you saw them coming in before you can get to them. That's why I said the roving guy on the roof, guy inside. If they're volunteers, there's a lot of veterans out there. This police off duty.
That's a good idea, the volunteer thing, but it would never work.
Maybe not.
I mean, you know what I mean. God bless them for wanting to volunteer their time, but I could see a position like that if it comes about. It 100% have to be paid, insured. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what it would have to come down to. I mean, but we've seen in the past when after school shootings happen, how many veterans, off-duty cops show up and stand right out front of the school, and most of the time they get in trouble and are told to leave. But their heart's in the right place.
Well, here's the other thing with that. Even if it's a little bit ineffective, even if it's not efficient, let's just say Florida enacted my plan. They know there's at least 2 armed people in every school in the state, whether they're paid, bonded, and all that, whatever. What's the likelihood of somebody walking up on campus with a damn gun? It's not a gun-free zone anymore. In South Carolina, I can't say all the numbers, but for the most part, there's a cop at every school in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Very seldom do I go by a school. They call them resource officers. Very seldom, if I don't see the card, I don't mean they're not in there. They might be parked around back. Evidently, Florida, that particular school didn't have one. And I'm not saying the taxpayers should be paying for police to be there. I agree with the armed teachers. I believe in the volunteers and all that stuff. I mean, the fact that it's a gun-free zone is the main thing. If it's not a gun, I mean, even if they don't want parents carrying a gun in there, just saying you can't carry your gun in there, but we got some people in here armed, I'm okay with that. Not really, but I am. Okay, fine. But the fact that there's no guns on campus, that is the problem. We got to fix that somehow. Whatever the answer is, you got to fix that.
And I see like whenever we first started talking about, maybe putting police in school and stuff, I agree the cops should not be in school to deal with school issues. That's what the school is there for. The cops, the only reason that an SRO should be in that school is to protect the kids. If there's a large fight that's ongoing, they deal with that. And that's and do some classes, you know what I mean? Like do proactive stuff. Don't be I don't want to say be the dickhead of the school, like, oh, I'm the cop and you're just a kid. They need to be proactive. Don't meddle in school issues. If it's little Johnny shoved little Billy, let the school handle that. That's not a police issue. But I don't know. I think there should be something in the school. And if your schools don't have SROs for right now, I believe the immediate response should be get school resource officers in now and start implementing a plan to where if teachers want to be armed, get them the training. And it's not going to be something that happens overnight. There's no way it can be. But start implementing policies, training, and that type of stuff, and then start weeding the SROs out of the school and give the school back to the school officials. That almost sounds like I'm trying to liberate Iraq.
No, I mean, but from what I'm reading in the, because I don't know all the details, there was a resource officer there, but according to Florida law, he couldn't be armed. There again, that is the main issue. It's not the gun. There is a lot of problems with mental health and psychological drugs and blah, 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 blah. We could just keep spitting off reasons maybe this is going on now and it didn't happen 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever, or at least on a regular basis. But the main, the thing I see is a gun-free zone. I mean, even the shooting at the movie theater several years ago, it was a gun-free zone. Schools, gun-free zone, because they don't have any opposition. If I was a criminal and I wanted to kill a bunch of people, I'm going to go where nobody has a gun to shoot back. Mm-hmm. And they have proven that's the way to do it. What was it last year? Year before last year? The Muslim that went into the nightclub and shot it up or whatever in Florida. Guess what? It's gun-free zone. I'm not saying everybody should have a gun in a bar. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's just a prime target. That's where you go. If you're going to shoot people, shoot where they ain't going to shoot back. If I was going to go to war tomorrow and I got to pick and choose, I'm going to go to war with a country that don't have any arms when we attack them.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to address along the same school thing. Somebody out and it went too fast. I didn't see who said it, but somebody said, aren't schools always in lockdown while they're in operating hours? Yeah, most schools, at least in our area, and I think it's pretty much across the country anymore, once the kids are in the school is locked up. The only way they get in is buzzard in. However, with that said, I mean, do we think that the glass that the school has is magical? That it has like force field potential? I mean, that's what that dickhead did. Was it Sandy Hook? Isn't he the one that, like, I mean, he just stood out front, blew the glass doors out, walked in and kept going. You know, I mean, that's, yeah, well, schools are on lockdown, but what's it really do?
Well, the tough part is, Blue, like where you live, your schools are designed where there's hallways and, you know, it's designed interior. A lot of schools like out here are designed where the only exit out of a room is to go outside. There's only one exit in most classrooms. So you're actually walk the grounds to get to your next room. You're not inside of a building because, you know, it's not full of snow and, you know, so how, you know, half the country is kind of set up that way as well.
So I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They usually have a fence. You know, it's a fence basically. Basically, it's a jail, to say the least. You're in jail. But yeah, most out here are you walk into the class, then you have to leave. You're outside, and then walk to the next. You know, the room could be right next door, but there's only one way in, one way out, really.
But I don't know all the details. Maybe we'll never know. I don't know. But supposedly he got into the school, and either him or somebody else, but supposedly he pulled a fire alarm, which is going to force everybody to crowd the hallways, even if it's exits, whatever it is. You know, I mean, like you say, shoot through the glass. Hell, even if it's a regular steel door, if you got a high-powered rifle and nobody gets to you before you can do anything, you can just blow around, just start shooting around where the latch is and kick the door in or open it, whatever. I mean, it's not like you can't get into a building, especially if you got a high-powered rifle in your hand, shotgun, whatever. You know, like I said, I think the main thing is you're creating prime targets. You know, nobody goes into a bank to do a mass shooting. Nobody goes to a police station to do a mass shooting. They go to places where there's not guns. Period. An armed society is a polite society.
That's kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like you don't have mass shootings at courthouses or, you know, jails. Just go figure, you know?
Well, even, bring that up a notch. I mean, it happens, but like normal places where people have the ability to conceal carry, like malls where there'd be large numbers of people, it's, yeah, they're basically preying on the weak or the unarmed. And there's a lot of active shooter, a lot of classes. Just the other day we had to attend an updated active shooter class. The local law enforcement comes out, sheriff's department comes out and talks to all the employees. And just gives ideas on what you can do. And some of those ideas I thought were really cool. Basically the way the schools had designed this whole, alarm, right? We're going to do an active shooter drill. We're all going to hide under the desk. Well, they come to realize that when they all hide under the desk or they hide in a big group, it's like, what is it? Shooting fish from a barrel or whatever. So now it's like, okay, that's your last resort. You need to fight, and it's basically as soon as the guy comes in with they already heard the shooting, right? Down the hallway. Now it's basically, they're going to do whatever they can, just basically pummel this guy. People will get shot doing it, but at the end of the day, they've done the test, and the best way for them to survive is to attack. That's their defense is an offense, because if you're just going to sit there and wait for the guy to, put some bullet holes in you, that's not the way to. I'm not going out that way. I can tell you that.
Did you guys see that video floating around of somebody was filming while the shooting was going on from inside a classroom? It's out there, and it's real disturbing. And I don't know if the guy was in the classroom shooting or if he was shooting through walls or through the door, but you can see bullet holes ripping through like a laptop that's on a computer. And right after the shooting stops, I don't know if they spliced a video or whatever, but the person stands up and there's obviously somebody deceased laying there. And it's just, and like you said, they're all just underneath their desks. They're not trying to do anything. I mean, the lockdown, I guess that's probably your best. If you can't get out a window, like if the guy's in the hallway, if you can't get out a window, I mean, maybe your best thing is just to, get out of the line of sight and hope for the best. But
well, it's barricade, turn the lights off. I was watching one because they showed different clips from like LA County Sheriff's Department and some of the larger departments in our area. And one of the guys, they put a table up. So basically, when the door had opened, all they saw was the table. The intruder saw the table, and it kind of gave them an idea of being able to give them a chance to jump on them as well. Kind of like took them off guard. All of a sudden, you open the door and you have big barricade pretty much sitting right there. But they put tables, use fire extinguishers as weapons. Mm-hmm. It was a good class. It was a good little class. So it was pretty cool. But it was designed for like the kid in school or like the employee that's works in the offices. That's who it was designed for.
Yeah, you always rush a ambush. Running don't work.
No, I'm going to ask a question that I don't think anybody's going to have the answer to, but we can all speculate. What's the difference between now and 60 years ago?
Technology.
No, I mean
morals.
What is the difference between Opie Taylor going to high school and you never heard of this shit happening in the 60s, 70s, 80s? Why now? What's going on?
Yeah,
why is it?
Culture, morals.
It's the breakdown of the family structure.
Yeah.
And parents just not giving a shit and not teaching their kids the right way. Your babysitter's the Xbox. That's the culture that I think that we're in, and kids are not taught the right way, and this is where we end up.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of that, you know, our moral compass is degraded. Violence has become, kids are numb to it because they see so much. And I'm not going to blame it on TV and video games, but it sure as hell don't help. I mean, we grew up with violence in cartoons and stuff, but I still knew not to jump off a damn cliff, just like Wile E. Coyote. I knew if I jump off a cliff, I'm going to freaking die. Because I fell out of enough trees, climbing them, I got hurt. If you fall down, you get hurt, you know.
And you don't make the little poof, little dust cloud. No.
Just don't look down. As long as you look straight ahead, you won't fall.
Well, the reason I asked that question was, honestly, that's the common sense in, it's not gun control. It's why didn't it happen then and now it's happening now? It's not because the AR-15, that thing's been around for like 70 years almost. The AK-47's been around even longer, you know. It's not the assault weapon or the sporting rifle or whatever you want to call it. It's whatever it is now as compared to then.
And how many times have we seen, you know, thank God, you know, my kids are, I'm sure every parent says this, my kids are good kids. Whenever like we go out grocery shopping, we go to the mall, we go somewhere, my kids are not the ones that, you know, I'm like, they run to the toy section. It's like, come on, let's go. And then they throw a fit. And I'm like, come on, let's go. My kids don't do that shit. My kids know if they do it, I'm going to smack their ass right there in the middle of wherever we're at. And we're moving on. And you see people that take that same kid doing that same action, and instead of smacking their ass and disciplining them, oh, there's something wrong with them, we need to put them on whatever what ADHD medication,
Ritalin or whatever.
Yeah, you know, no, smack your kid's ass. And oh, well, we're not allowed to smack our kid's ass, it's illegal, it's this, it's that. Horse shit. There is nothing that says, well, I don't want to say horse shit, because maybe you live in a state where it's illegal to smack your kid, and if you do, move. But I can't tell you how many times that, you know, personally, I've been on a call where in the one, you know, a kid had a split lip, 14 or 15-year-old girl, and she called the police because her mom beat her. And I get there, and the mom answers the door, and she's like, oh, you're here because I split my daughter's lip? I'm like, yep. She's like, did she tell you why I did it? I'm like, nope. And she's like, she was grounded. She wanted to go to the skating rink. And her mom said, no, you're not going to the skating rink. And the girl looked at her and said, you need to go fuck off, or you need to go fucking die. So the mom, bam, backhanded her, split the lip open. Talked to the kid, asked the kid what happened. Kid said the exact same thing. I turned around, walked away, said, you know, don't even think I said anything. I was like, well, we'll put a slip in on it, but, you know, there's no charges to come. I almost got fucking suspended for that because I didn't take action.
You did take action. You take good action.
That's what I don't know, because Christ, I remember being, was I 19? I was 19, came home drunk, walked up the steps. My mom was standing at the top of the steps. She started bitching at me, and I said something like, I'm 19, go, or you can go fuck off. And I ended up going down the steps, you know.
Da-dum, 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 da-dum.
That's pretty much what it sounded like.
Now I'm at the bottom of the steps.
Or it might have sounded like ding, 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 ding,
No,
ding,
freaking
ding, ding.
discipline the kids. Oh, we're going to put them in a timeout. Yeah, that's worked well for us all.
Timeout works after spankings.
Yeah, they do need a cool off time, but they need
I always got the timeout before the spankings. It's like my dad would say, you know, I'm about to kick your ass. Go to your room and think about why I'm about to kick your ass. Then we'll do this, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, my dad did that. That was the worst. He would make me go to his bedroom, bend over the bed, and wait. He's going to come in there with a leather belt and wear my ass out. But the wait seemed to be the worst sometimes. But no, don't get me wrong. It was borderline beating, whipping. I mean, it was right on the border of a beating. And I didn't get that many because they lasted for months and months and months.
Yeah, the blisters.
All 10 minutes of it. Months and months.
That's sometimes that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. And my dad also kept his guns, his pistols at least, in the bottom dresser drawer. I knew where they was at. They were there. You didn't touch them son bitches. Nope. If he let you touch them, you could touch them. But if he didn't let you touch them, you didn't know nothing. I know one of the first school shootings, and I know I've told this story many times, but it's still true. One of the early shootings back in the 90s, the kids broke into the grandfather's gun cabinet, got the gun out, took it to school, shot him. It was middle school, elementary, whatever. And it was like, me and my buddy both were like, we wouldn't have done it for the ass whooping we would have got. It wasn't that we was worried about killing somebody, not that we would have done that anyway. We would have never actually literally had to break into grandfather's gun cabinet because of the beating we would have received. That's why we wouldn't do it. If for no other reason, that was good enough.
Yeah. See, and then after those good beatings, all they need to do is give you that eye, like, would you like to do that whole ass whooping thing again? And then you're like, whoosh, straighten up. You're like, oh no, I'm good. I remember that. I still got blister. I'm still good.
And just for the record, I'm not going out and saying beat your kid, but discipline your kid. There's a huge difference between beating, abuse, and then discipline. And sometimes, and I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say it just because if this ever gets back, but you know how sometimes if you get a belt, those little raised marks happen?
Little holes?
Sometimes depending on what you do, you know, there's a difference in the level of belt swing. If you bop your brother, you get caught stealing, or you get caught burning a house down, or what you're going to jail for. But you know what I mean? There's levels, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with.
They were still paddling in high school when I graduated. You could still get your ass beat with a paddle by a teacher or a principal when I graduated high school.
Mm-hmm. That ended right around, at least in our area, like 95, 96, 97 is about where they started getting rid of what they called, and I love what they called it, corporal punishment. It's not corporal punishment. You're getting your ass paddled because you fucked up.
Well, I think where the parents take it too far is when they're actually upset. You know, if you're still pissed off at your kid for doing whatever you're doing, you should probably wait and then give them a whooping.
Let me see if the video is still here, because my high school science teacher was actually on the Jerry Springer show before it turned into the Jerry. You know, it was like before that. He was on there for for corporal punishment. It was on YouTube for the longest time. I want to see if it's still there. That'd be hilarious.
I think sometimes, and now I can't say that they didn't contact your parents anyway, but I don't know. I know when I was in high school, sometimes they would give you a choice. It'd only be like 3 licks. That's what they call it. You know, 3 paddles or 3 days of suspension. And it was just like, okay, well, just give me the paddle, because if you got suspended, then your parents were contacted. They would know you were suspended. They know you fucked up. So you had a choice. You didn't have to get paddled, but your parents are going to be informed. You're going to be suspended, or just take 3 licks and be done with it.
No, see, that's our school was ass backwards, because if you got the paddle, they would notify your parents prior to giving it to you. So then not only did the principal get his licks in, you got your licks in when you got home.
Well, that was then. This is now. I don't know any parent right now. I mean, I can't think of one. I don't have kids, so I'm really not qualified to say how easy it is to hit a child. But I know You know, when your dad always told you this is going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt, or rather, it's going to hurt me a lot more than it's going to hurt you. I honestly believe that. If a parent loves their child and they need discipline, the last thing they want to do, I honestly believe, is strike them. But you know, sometimes you get to the end of your rope and there's no other influence that's going to work other than, okay, this is the end of the road, boy. You asked for it. It's coming to you.
Yep. I've warned you twice.
You've been warned. You've been grounded. You've done this. Get ready. You're about to get lit up. Or if it's a severe thing, it's just an automatic light up.
That's all right.
Whenever I say light a kid up, I don't, with my kids, I've never hit them with a belt, hit them with a paddle, anything like that. It's always an open hand on their ass cheek. And it's not like a full wind up, you know, because most kids, they're more afraid of what they think is about to happen than what actually happens. And even if you don't have to hit them that hard. I mean, just that crack, I think it scares them more than anything else. And hey, if it scares you into straightening up, then that's what happens. But now I'm sure that somebody's going to watch this chat down the road, and because I spanked my kids when they were younger, that's going to make them open for spousal abuse once they get older. And
oh, that's horseshit. And I know we're talking about paddling in school and stuff like that. And with today's times, I know that would be probably pretty much impossible to reinstitute. But I understand there's still some places they still do that. But as much as I hate to say, you know, society has changed. It'd be hard to reintroduce it. You know, it really would.
Oh, yeah.
But there again, it's not the job of the school system to teach discipline to your children. It's the fucking parents' job to teach discipline, not the school, not the video game, not Barney, not whatever TV show, or it's the parents' responsibility to teach discipline.
Well, that's
even in school. I mean, where I went to school, it was kind of one of those special schools. And it was a boarding school. When we fucked up, we weren't corporate or capital. What do they call it? Corporal punished. You know, striking or, you know, spanked, whatever you want to call it. But what we got were, when we fucked up, either like talked back to a teacher or didn't show up at a certain place at a certain time when we were expected there, or our rooms weren't clean, or, you know, they were trying to instill some kind of responsibility into us in that we didn't have our parents there kicking our asses. They acted as kind of like a social kind of referee, so to speak, in that we were expected to act like adults. And when we fucked up, we got what were referred to as demerits. And, you know, each violation was worth a certain amount of demerits. And if you got more than 10 demerits in a week, you had to do chores around the school, either pick up trash, act on, like you had to go into the kitchen and clean dishes after dinner, or it was very inconvenient as a teenager when, like, on Friday night, when you were expected to completely sanitize and cleanse the kitchen in the cafeteria, when all the rest of your buddies are out there fucking around and having a good time. Why not invoke that sort of thing in school, where kids are, you know, instead of corporal punishment, why not have them, okay, you're talking about it to the class, you're being an asshole, you're disruptive, you're treating the teacher like an idiot. Okay, you're not interested in learning. Why don't you go to the principal's office and we're going to have you, like, walk around the schoolyard and pick up rocks, or, you know, pick up trash, or paint the racquetball court where some asshole just graffitied it. You can paint over that.
No, that's good. Yeah, it's definitely an option. The problem is most parents will be like, I don't want my son to do that.
and I can't say this is true for all. I'm going to bring up a subject that Fuzz has brought up out there, and this is just coming from me as a single man now, and a lot of the women I've dated. You can take this with a grain of salt and call me full of shit, whatever. I don't care. You call me an asshole, whatever. But one problem I have seen is a single parent home, and most of the time, at least in my area, the wife ends up with the kids, and she's trying to be the father and the mother. And I've never seen any. And I'm not saying somebody can't do it. I'm not saying it can't be done. But in my experience with the women I dated, they wanted to be their kid's friend. And I'm not. It could be the same thing with a single father that had the kids. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pointing out a gender or anything like that. But I've seen firsthand, at least with the moms that had the kids, they were more worried about being the kid's friend than being the mom and the dad. And asking the mom to be the mom and the dad, or asking the dad to be the dad and the mom, is too much to ask for anybody. Because they would have a problem with the discipline and nurturing. I would say that most people that grew up with parents that didn't split up, that they were together. I'm just going by me in my experience with my friends. There's usually one parent nurtures, one parent disciplines. And then when one has to do both, they seem to struggle with it and can't fucking find a happy medium to do both. I'm not saying it can't happen, but y'all know is what is it, like 3 out of every 5 fucking marriages end in divorce. You got single parents raising kids, and they have a hard time being both. And usually the disciplines is the first thing that gets kicked out, because I'm not a psychologist, but I guess they've already had a bad marriage, and all they got left is the kids, and so they just want to wrap their hands around them and nurture them, and the discipline just goes out the fucking window.
I think also a part of that, divorce. I've been through a divorce, but I don't have kids, and there was no kids involved. But I know a lot of my friends. Well, some of my friends have been through the divorce who have had children. My neighbor next door is a great example. So you have 2 separate entities. You have mom and dad now that are divorced, and the kids are bouncing between each of the homes, and the parents are vying for who can be the coolest parent at this point. They want the children to be excited to come back to mom or come back to dad. So instead of being parents, they're trying to let the kids get away with the most fun they've ever had. They're turning a nurturing parental environment into an amusement park. They're like, hey, if you come to my house, I'll give you ice cream for breakfast, and I'll give you cake for lunch, and we can have cookies for dinner. It'll be fucking awesome. And the kid's like, yeah, and they go back to mom's house, and oh, well, dad gave us cookies for dinner, why can't we have cookies for dinner? Okay, fine, we'll give cookies and cake for dinner. It's sad but true. But
sad but true.
Sad but true.
Instead of the parents being fucking adults, even though they're divorced, they put the kid in the middle of a ploy, and that screws with the kid. It has to. I agree with everything you just said there. That's a huge issue.
Yeah, Byron, or Buckeye, Brian, yeah, just basically summed it up right there. The parents do that to each other to piss the other parent off. Yeah, and it's a competition. It turns into a competition. Who can become the most fun to be with? And the person next door, especially, her kids are completely unruly, freaking nutty, just nuts. They're fucking crazy. And sadly, the mother is becoming equally crazy as the kids. They lose track of what's acceptable in society.
I see some people commenting out there, and like I said, I'm not saying that was ever a case in every single parent situation. I would just say the majority of the situation you run into that. And if it's the
Yeah,
majority of kids growing up in a single parent family, well, that ends up being the majority of the population, blah, blah, blah. You know, my one of my best friends, he was my brother-in-law. He ended up with his kids, and I know good and well he disciplines them, and those are some straight arrow kids. He was being the nurturer and the, disciplinary, and he done both, and he done a good job of it. They're great kids. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it's a big task, and from my experience, most of the parents fail at it.
yeah, and I wasn't saying that it turns out that way every time. You're right, um, but unfortunately, it becomes a contest more often than not. Then instead of the parents like manning up to, okay, we have a failed marriage, let's do the best with our kids regardless. Instead, it becomes a popularity contest.
Anyway, I don't have kids myself, so maybe I'm not authorized to say that kind of stuff. I'm just going by observations of myself, of my dating experience, and
Well, we kind of talked about this the other day in Rich's chat, and one of the things I brought up was, there is the lack of parents in the house sometimes. It's one parent kind of trying to run the whole show, but then there's also both parents are at home. But as a society, everybody wants a bigger house, faster cars, all that bullshit. So now the mom and the dad are both working. That's one of the big changes to SoCal that's happened in the last, however many years. And now you have both people trying to be the breadwinner or pay for all the shit that they own, and they're not even home. So, the kids are either have a babysitter that's teaching them moral values by sticking them on the TV, watch that, or, video games or whatever the case is. But so it doesn't have to be just a single parent house. It can be a house that's trying too hard to buy shit or whatever they're looking for, and they're not giving enough attention to the kids as well. They're not giving them what they need. They're trying to buy them presents and give them shit they really don't need, but they're not nurturing. They're not communicating and having social contact together, whether it's eating dinner together as a family or, a lot of that has been thrown to the wayside.
And I'm not saying that we can do anything about it, but I mean, just technology, period, has probably degraded our moral compass of, as far as children growing up. Just like you say, stick in front of the TV, they get a video game, blah, blah, blah. Even in a household with both parents, like you say, most of the time, both parents are working. They work late hours. They do, and the TV, video games, and all that is what the kids are. I mean, you got movies stream 24 hours a day, cartoons stream 24 hours a day, video game 24 hours a day, whatever medium they want to do is at their fingertips. When I grew up, and most of the people in the audience out there and on the panel here, maybe not Blue, he's a little bit younger than us, but you had 3 channels. I think it was high school before we finally had cable and VCRs and stuff like that. But even then, I was outside. Yeah, if I wanted to have fun, the only time I was inside cooped up is when it was raining.
Yeah.
Other than that, I was on my bicycle. It's like, boom, gotta go.
Well, and you had to wait. Like, say you did have a TV show. I mean, my biggest thing was I'd get home from school and I'd either go grab my bike and build racetracks, or I'd grab my gun and go out squirrel shooting. But it's like now, so Sunday, I can't remember now. It's been a long time, but I think it was Sunday night was like Kung Fu Sunday, like where you could see all the bad karate movies and shit. Like I was like, yeah, like those are going to be coming, you know, and they'd only be like a week long. So if you miss it, you're fucked. But like, you know, you can't just go search for friggin' Kung Fu Master and fucking, you know, and it's instantly up. You don't have to wait the whole week, you know, and you can miss it because there was no such thing as like recording it, or like you were either there or you weren't. So you either had to be on your game or you're going to miss the show.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with technology, cell phones, and all that, I know it's a whole different world out there. But especially summertime, but at least even during school, you know, when school was in, as long as the weather was okay, I was on my bike and I was gone all day. You know, they would kind of want to know where I was going, but a lot of times I wasn't going anywhere. It was just I'll be in town.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was it. And they didn't really, I don't know how much they worried or whatever. I mean, sometimes I went to my buddy of mine's. He lived, I mean, it was like 10, 15 miles from me. And I'd ride my bicycle over to his house because he had cow pastures and a motorcycle. And I'll just be gone the entire freaking day. Is just be back by night. You know?
Yeah. And if you weren't even close where you wanted to ride back to get lunch, you just said, fuck it, I'll eat dinner. I was too busy to eat lunch. I didn't have time for that shit. I was digging holes and making jumps.
I know my buddy Tool Monkey, he talked about when he went to his grandparents, and him and his brother would go out and they just give him a box of ammo and they go shoot, you know, shotguns all day. He said years later or whatever, his grandma, you know, told him, so, well, I knew they was okay. As long as I kept hearing a gun going off, I knew they was okay.
A signaling device. Oh, there they are over there. Yeah, Kung Fu Theater. That's what it was. That shit was Saturday badass. I remember, and if you're really lucky, they throw a Bruce Lee movie on there, but it was mostly like some, I don't know. Bruce Lee was one badass son of a bitch.
I do remember trying to stay up to watch Benny Hill. It come on like after Saturday Night Live. And
yeah,
as
it
a
was
young
late.
Teenager, that was rough staying up that late.
I used to have to like, because I'd have to like, I was supposed to be in bed or asleep at least, but the way our house was set up, like I could look through my bedroom, like lean out the bedroom door like this and watch TV. And if I heard like a noise, if my mom was gonna get up to go to the kitchen or some shit, I'd be like, but yeah, that was the best shit ever. That was good stuff. Benny Hill. The best show on TV ever for a 14-year-old.
We talking because even Saturday Night Live, that was back in the day where it was, oh no, Mr. Bill on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, little Gumby and shit.
Yeah.
Captain Caveman. Yeah, Captain Caveman. There was a lot of good shows back then.
Oh, yeah.
I still crack up at thinking. So we finally, I talked my mom into getting this microwave because, you know, everybody already had one. We were like the last one to get one. And then we got this thing that weighed like 400 pounds. And I remember going, I was just in awe. Like, how in the fuck can you put a cup of water in this thing? Like, and you pull it out, and this shit's fucking hot. Like, I always like, man, I need to stay away from that machine. Like, that thing's got to kill your ass or something.
Well, they didn't call it nuking it for nothing.
Yeah. Well, my kids crack up because I don't really throw very much shit in the microwave. Like, I'll never throw, like, if I'm going to reheat something up, I just get a pan, throw it back in there, and stir it up and shit. My kids are, why don't you just throw it in the microwave? I'm like, screw the microwave. Got a pan right here.
Yeah, actually, I don't use my microwave either. Very, very seldom. Only time I use a microwave is at work, and that's the only way I got to reheat my food.
Yeah. Yeah, some things are okay, but like I'll never throw meat in the microwave ever. It just ruins it for taste wise for me. I'd rather spend the extra 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of, well, I'm not going to get off on a conspiracy kick here, but for years and forever, they finally changed it. But even Russia wouldn't allow, in Russia, fucking microwaves were illegal because of the health hazards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think you can have them there now, but for years, there's a lot of research on microwaves. They are actually very dangerous. They change the DNA of food. They do all kinds of shit. It's fucking radiation. It's
yeah,
radiation.
I know it can't be good for you. I mean, you don't see people sitting in microwave baths, to heal themselves. So it gotta be something bad in that shit.
Yeah.
Anything that can take a molecule and heat it up probably isn't a good thing.
But like I say, I don't want to get off on conspiracy theories. But yeah, the least you can use a microwave, the better off you are. Use a toaster oven. That's what I use. Get the little portable toaster oven on the counter table. That's what I.
The one with the door handle, or the kind you put the toast
down. That's what I use.
For what?
To reheat anything or cook.
So it's the kind with the little pan in it. Toaster oven, right?
No. It's bigger than that.
You're not talking a bread toaster, like where you put slices of bread.
I mean, you could cook a small casserole in it.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a tabletop oven, basically.
Oven, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Instead of using the whole oven to heat up a little dish or something, it's a little more efficient. Single guy. I just need a plate of something heated up. I don't need to heat up the whole freaking oven.
Do you ever make like a big ass meal and then like cut it into, make little things and throw them in the freezers?
Constantly. I use a crock pot. I got one of those. It's not an Instant Pot. It's a different brand. A little electric pressure cooker. One pot meals. That's what I live off of. And I eat on it for days.
Well, you eat like a bird anyways.
Well, that's true.
The old TR, he comes over for like Christmas. What the hell is it called? Christmas Eve dinner or whatever. And, I'm eating normal, right? Which I think's normal. Probably too much, really. It's the reason why I'm getting a belly. But, and TR, he'll just eat a little plate there. And I'm like, well, shit, you better go back and get some more food, So we always load his ass up with Ziploc bags. Like, here you go. Take that shit home and eat it.
Yeah, I don't eat much. But I eat a lot of times a day. I just eat small portions a lot.
That's actually better for you, really.
You ate quite a number of tacos at the farm, though.
Those are
I
good.
got my eye on you, my friend.
Who, me?
I even told you. I said it's not often I come back for seconds, but these were fucking good.
That's because SoCal made them. SoCal knows how to make some stuff.
Yeah, very rarely will you ever see me go back for seconds. I had to, and I had to admit, now sometimes I'll go do my normal where I don't eat a lot, and then I'll hit a day or two that I cannot get full. It's like my body says, "Fuck you, get some food in my body." And for a day or two, I just cannot get. I'll eat and eat and eat and eat.
Binge feeding.
It's probably Monday. It's probably a Monday when you're the hungriest.
What day is your day off?
It changes every week. So
You ever notice, like when you're at work, you get hungry? At least for me, it's like I almost never eat breakfast at home. Like on the weekends or whatever. Like I have a 4-day weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I've not eaten breakfast at least the last 3 days. I don't even start eating until like 1 p.m. Like I'm doing shit. I got stuff to do, And like at work, it's like, fuck, I'm hungry. It's like 8:30 in the morning. I'm starving my ass off. I don't know what it is, but it's like work makes me hungry, I guess. But doing hard work for myself. I'm like more involved. It's like, I don't want to eat. I want to get this done.
Yeah, on my days off, I usually don't eat breakfast till hours later than I get up. But the days I work, I got to eat a little something, even if it's a bowl of cereal, or because I guess I'm just more active on my days I work. And so I need that fuel for my body, you know, and I know when I don't eat, I'll end up really hungry, you know.
That happens. That happens. Yeah. Don't eat, get hungry. I just made some tortilla soup. I don't know if you guys can see in there without me pouring it all over my keyboard. Quite delicious. Maybe I'll do that at the farm next time. Tortilla soup. Can't fuck that up.
Yeah, I'm sure
The wife makes that, and it is awesome.
I don't want to disappoint you, buddy.
Oh, no. I like being disappointed.
I'll be the tester. Count me in. It's hard to find good Mexican food.
Your mic wasn't muted.
It's hard to find good Mexican
It's
food.
hard to find good Mexican food in South Carolina.
And North Carolina.
Now, in the upstate of South Carolina, it ain't too hard because there's a lot of immigrant influence up here. So I found a few places pretty good. Is it authentic? I don't know. I just have to take the fucking word for it. I don't. I ain't talking about Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's not Mexican food. But SoCal, I went ahead and did another big ass batch of your chili. It's probably been 2-3 weeks ago now. But instead of using the rib meat, I used the venison.
Oh. Yeah, that works. Anything that you can use as stew meat that is going to break down and get all tender and awesome over the course of a couple hours in the braising liquid,
yeah, it was.
Thumbs up.
It was good. So, not to plug in Big Meat Sunday because he's here, but go to Big Meat Sunday. Check out what is it? Did you call it the $200 chili or the $100 chili?
It's $200 chili.
Check that out. Cut the ingredients in half, if not even a quarter, unless you have a big ass freezer and you can save it. But make that stuff.
Or a party going on.
Oh, that is awesome.
Or the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're gonna feed a little army.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to Robbie. What's his channel name? Pop's Quest, Pop Prepper, Pop's Cabinet Shop, whatever you want to call him. He's the one who bought all that stuff. I gave him a laundry list, and he was like, "Are you fucking serious? Are you really serious? You want me to go buy all of this?" I'm like, "Yeah. Just trust me." Orange juice and chocolate? What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, just fucking go buy it. I got an idea.
And mashed potato flakes.
Yeah, yes. Mashed potato flakes.
Oh, about that, the mashed potato flakes is I don't know. I think that is the definite.
You can taste it in there. It's just right. It just works.
And that's like with me personally, I like my chili a little thick. I don't like it watery to where you have to add a bunch of crackers and a whole bunch of other shit. So putting the flakes in there, that was brilliant.
It was good.
All right, I want to completely change the subject. Well, not really. Y'all talking about food and how much it costs, $200 chili and stuff. Okay. I went, a little quick story. So, I'm dating Sonia. So Valentine's Day, there's a little restaurant, like 3 miles from my house, and really near me, right just a couple miles up, there's a lot of gated communities that's moved up here in the mountains, and it's, lawyers, engineers, and high dollar people, $1 million homes and all that stuff. So there's this little hotel with a restaurant. And we went there. There's this little restaurant week, and it was pretty cheap, and they was just promoting their business or whatever. Looked at their menu online, it's for my area, it's a little high, but most of the plates were like 28, 29 bucks, you know, and then extra for a salad and drinks and stuff, you know. Okay, no problem. So I'm thinking we'll go there, and it's, you know, it's probably going to cost 100, 150 bucks for the two of us to eat. So show up for Valentine's Day. They didn't advertise it on their website, but they had a special Valentine's menu. Boom. Here's our menu for today. Is a little card. And you had a little choice of a starter, main course, and then a dessert. Okay, cool. No prices, of course. And so we order our food. It was delicious. It was great. I had lamb chops. She had steak. Had oysters for appetizer and blah, blah, blah. Get the damn, and their wine is very expensive. There was prices on that. So we was like, well, just fuck it. Just go ahead and get a bottle of wine. And anyway, so you saying gives me the bill $300 for me and her to eat.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Time I included a date. I mean, a tip. It's damn near $350 for me and her to go eat. I was like, damn, y'all just stick it in and break it, slam off. I mean,
that's a Valentine's Day fee. It's the same thing with flowers. I mean, I can buy my wife like 3 dozen roses all year long for like, you know, 50, like 50 and 70 bucks. Valentine's Day, nope, double it instantly, just double it or more.
Price gouging, bullshit.
well, I talked to somebody else at work, and they said a lot of other restaurants in Greenville were doing that for Valentine's Day, where they'd have just a little Valentine's menu, and it was actually way more expensive than it was normally. And that's the way it was there. I mean, it was like, I'd already looked at the menu online. It's a pretty nice restaurant. It's very good. It's very, you know, but it's like, you know, the prices are expensive, but it's not fucking Outback, okay? I'm okay with it. But I got blindsided by that. I was like, holy shit, I could have bought a gun. What the fuck?
See, that's one of the pluses of being married is you go, how much is this fucking thing? They say $300. You're all, okay, I don't want it. That's what I'm doing in Tennessee. I'll be doing the old Valentine's weekend since I was stuck at work.
I just had to share that little story there because that's the most I've ever paid for a meal in my life. I know Sonia took me to one restaurant in Nashville and it cost me $200, and I was like, months ago, I'm still like, holy shit, that was too damn much money for that. But $300 before tip, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Do y'all not realize I got a name that my name is on my shirt at work? I don't make this kind of money.
Mine's on mine too there, TR. Look, I got to cover this shit up.
Yeah.
I thought that was electrodes.
No, those go straight on the nipples, actually.
I was gonna say, I thought those were booby tassels.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I actually went out and was wearing this hat when I was at lunch today. Because my work hat looks like this, and so does that one. And I grabbed the wrong one. People are probably looking at me like, what the fuck department is IY6C?
Station 6.
Station 6. I did have someone ask me that one time. Is that not when I was on duty, but at the shooting range you go to, they're all, is that like your station hat? Is that do you work at Station 6? I'm on no.
See, I'm your Station 6 commander.
Exactly. There you go.
Well, being a fireman, you could always, well, I just always got to make sure my guys are covering each other's back. This is very important. This is just life saving.
That's right. Yeah, I'd go over till the big boss showed up. He'd probably laugh more than anything. He's a cool dude. A lot of us went to high school together, like the fire chief and I, and then the captain on duty today at this station. Who else? It's kind of crazy. A lot of us grew up in the same town. At the same time. Well, anybody buy any precision badass rifles? Old WTF SoCal, man. The guy has something coming in the mail.
It's a disease. Just don't hold it against me, man.
It is badass. That thing's gonna shoot 48 miles and fucking be accurate as knock gnats off.
We need to go out to Paula.
I know.
You know,
I know.
next time you come out, well, it'll be in what 16 days or plus or minus. Yeah, let's make it a point to get out there. I actually watched a video on their website where they show you how to. I'm not positive on the correct verbiage to describe, but basically you take a bullet with no primer in it, or a case with no primer in it. You seat a bullet in it without crimping it, and you run it up into the chamber, and then push it as far as you can, and then use your finger to kind of tuck the case in, and then this gauge that goes through the primer pocket and then touches the back of the bullet, and then you lock it into position, and then pull the whole pile out. Usually the bullet will stick in the barrel, like because of the lands and grooves. Just grab it, and you poke that out, stick it back in the case so it jogs up against this kind of like little rod that's running up through the case, and then measure that, and it'll show you exactly how deep the lands and grooves are and the chamber, so you can load specifically for that rifle barrel. I'm on that. I'm on it. On it.
That's nice. What weight bullet there, Mr. Blue?
See, and that's it's probably going to be the standard. What is it? Is it 55 grain?
Yeah, if you want just regular like crap target ammo.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what I mean. I've got thousands of rounds of 55 grain. So, but I got to say it quiet. I got 3 lowers in the mail, and then I bought a whole bunch of lower part stuff so I can get the lowers built, and then I want to start on the uppers.
Oh.
And I don't know whether to actually do my own upper or buy a completed upper, and that's why the barrel length is coming in and the twist rate.
Uppers are so much easier to do than lowers. You can do an upper in like 5 minutes. It's so easy. You're not dealing with little tiny parts and like having to like finagle trigger springs and all the stuff. You just stick the bolt in your, or not the bolt, but take the receiver, stick the barrel in, stick the nut on, crank, 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 crank. You know, stick it on your reaction rod or whatever you got. Wince it down, gas block, tube, screw the friggin' muzzle device on the front, and you're done. It's that easy.
Well, maybe I will.
There's no science.
Maybe I will just do it all. But I got a 1 in 9. 1 in 9 for 55 grain.
Yep.
Yes, redneck. That is why that was. I had to quiet it down and get closer to the mic.
I'm with you. I buy everything cash.
See, do you ship it to work?
No, you can't have shit at work here.
Oh, see, I ship all my stuff to work.
Well, yeah, you can because you live in America. See, I work in California, so you can't have any of the fun toys. No, and then I'd have to bring it on an airplane, and then the airplane doesn't like it. I did ship 1,000 rounds, 1,000 rounds, just the projectile, and 1,000 rounds, or 55. What were they? 55 grain, and then also 40 cal, 180 grain. And I think I got on the TSA watch list for that one in my carry-on because they broke into it and taped it all up. And it wasn't bullets. It was just, well, it's bullets. It's just the bullet, not the entire bullet. Just the projectile. Well, if you're getting 3, you can make one, buy one, and test it and see which one comes out better.
See, this is what my plan is I've got the 3. I'm definitely going to do all 3. The one rifle I want to do to, I want to make it how I want to make it. It's going to have special parts on it, special things that I want.
Like full auto.
Yeah, like maybe different colors, that type of thing. And then one, I want to do an AR pistol. And then the other AR I want to build, and I'm going to shoot it for a while. I'm going to have it for a while. And if I decide to sell it, it's going to be sold to make back. To make back some of the money that I spent on the other ones.
Yeah. I hear you.
Because it's damn cheap right now to fucking buy this stuff and build one. Holy Christ. I mean, literally, I could have an AR built. Those lowers were $29.99. Thanks to whoever out there in the chat room a couple weeks ago. You're the one that got me in trouble. But that's where I bought the lowers from. And then, Christ, the parts kit for it, for just your basic parts kit, and then an upper. You get uppers now for like $250, the $200 even. And those are like the President's Day sales are going on. And it's like you can have a complete rifle decent at, you might have $350 in it. And I'm guessing you could probably friggin' sell it for $550 to somebody that doesn't know any better.
You need to build a 300 blackout.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Those are fun.
Except the ammo costs too much.
Well, if you make it yourself.
Well, we do have the reloading equipment.
There you go.
You had a 50 Beowulf out there too. That's a badass round.
Or 458 SOCOM. Either way. Get her done.
Yeah, that'll get her done.
But seriously, what are you guys thinking for your standard 55 grain bullet for a length and a twist rate for accuracy? Most shooting, if I'm going to shoot it, it's guaranteed probably going to be about 50 yards or under, but I'd like it to reach out and poke up to 200 if needed.
Any of those will do it.
Yeah, that's a really fast twist rate, or a slow twist rate, rather. Usually they're faster, like 1 to 7, like Razor was saying. That's a pretty slow twist rate.
All right, I'm writing that down.
So 55, it might get a little sketchy with 62 grain, but don't try to shoot anything else out of that. Anything heavier, just it'll tear itself apart on the way out the barrel probably, or end up coming out like a fucking, like one of the spirals that who's that dude that was in the Super Bowl, the pretty boy Brady. Yeah. Looked like a wounded duck coming out of there.
Well, I noticed that it used to be it was either 1 and 7 or 1 and 9, and a lot of manufacturers are going to 1 and 8, kind of a compromise.
Yeah. What
do you guys think about that? I mean, to be honest, all I shoot is 55 grain.
Mm-hmm.
But I never, actually the farm is the longest I ever shoot my ARs. My place, 50 yards. I can't really, I can see more than 50 yards, but it's through trees and branches and all kind of shit. You know what I mean? As far as a clearing, I can get about 50, 60 yards, maybe 70 if I did some weed eating or brush clearing. So, I mean, I can't see 100 yards and shoot 100 yards on my property, and I own 5 acres of land.
You know what Razor was saying? That's kind of what I was talking about. The 1 in 7 twist is probably the most common. It's probably the most versatile. You can shoot probably anything up to like a 70, 75 grain bullet out of it. But if you try to run something like that in a 1 in 9 twist, it'll shred itself. The jacketing will just cut itself off on the way out the barrel because it's being forced to spin so fast. The bullet's too long.
Why are you only trying to shoot to 200? Because of the landscape and the trees and stuff?
They're like out there, Land Run just put out, he's putting out 500-yard shots. I'm not doing competition. I'm doing more of a real, I don't want to say real world, because of course you can get those long shots in real world situations. But for my area, it's, you know, you're lucky if you get a 200-yard shot open.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cal, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems, unless I'm hearing you wrong, what you're saying seems backwards of what I thought twist meant. Like a 1 in 7 means it's 1 revolution in 7 inches. A 1 in 9 would be 1 revolution in 9 inches. So actually,
no, it's
1 in
feet.
7.
It's in feet. It's 7 revolutions per foot.
Oh, okay. So it's, I'm all off. Okay. Okay.
No, that's not right either. Or is it?
It can't be.
Ask me that question.
It can't be 7 feet. I know the rifling in my rifles.
No,
it is at least 1 revolution.
Okay, so 1 revolution per 7 inches would be a 1 in 7 twist.
So a 1 in 7 twist is quicker than a 1 in 9 twist.
No, because you're making 9. Yeah, exactly. So that's considered faster than
1 revolution per 9 inches, or so 1 revolution per 7 inches.
So it's weird because you'd think like the higher the number, the faster it would be, but it's like the opposite. The less the number, the faster it is.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I thought maybe I was thinking wrong.
9 inches. Yeah, you can mark it on your cleaning rod, and you can tell what your barrel is if it doesn't, you know, if it's covered up. 1 in 7, 1 in 8, 1 in 9.
So that's usually the higher, like 1 in 9, from what I had been taught, would be better for heavier bullets than a 1 in 7, which would be better for a lighter bullet.
It's the opposite.
Oh,
the faster the twist, the higher the grain of bullet.
Okay.
Are you sure? Let's get this shit right.
Because I'm
confident.
My first
can I phone a friend?
My first AR-15 was H bar, and I want to say it had a 1 in 9 twist. Your average AR-15 had a 1 in 7, and the literature, the book, I mean, said it was better for a heavier bullet. Everything I read said a 1 in 9 was better for a heavier bullet, and a 1 in 7 was better for a 50 to 55 grain. So either I read that wrong or I remember it wrong.
Well, and you said it right.
Because if you try
you said it right.
Like if you got a 75 grain bullet and you try to whip it around in 7 inches instead of 9, I'm thinking the slower twist rate is better for a heavier bullet.
No.
Okay, it's opposite.
Yeah, it's kind of like think of it as mass.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. All right, so something that kind of put it into perspective, like a torque converter on a car. If the smaller the torque converter, the smaller in diameter, the easier it is to spin up. You take a big ass torque converter and try to spin it up really fast, it's gonna break something. And that's kind of like the same effect is what happens on a big, long, heavy bullet when you try to spin it really fast. It just twists the bullet because it can't accelerate through the lands and grooves fast enough, and it just disintegrates.
So you want a slower twist rate?
No, you want a faster one.
But that's the exact
It's stupid. It's stupid. No, it's stupid. You don't want a higher number. You want a lower number, and the lower numbers are faster. The higher numbers are slower.
So you're trying to twist a heavier mass faster,
slower.
Well,
but
then you would want a 1 in 9 then.
No, you're physically trying to twist it slower, but for some reason or another, they call it a faster twist rate.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Is anybody else not getting this? I'm thinking of
okay, so 7 would be faster.
1 in 9. Okay, 9 inches, you're gonna go 1 revolution. 1 in 7. 7 inches, you're gonna go 1 revolution. So if you want to take a heavier bullet and not try to rip itself to death with a 1 in 7 twist, you want a 1 in 9, so it takes a little longer to get it going. That would actually be a slower twist rate. 1 in 9 is slower than 1 in 7. I mean, I might be totally confused. Maybe it's the terminology of a fast and slow twist rate is what's backwards. I don't see why you would want to twist a heavy bullet faster than a lighter bullet. That makes no sense to me. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not like I say, I shoot 50 to 75 fucking yards. I don't care what twist rate it is. It's good for me.
Timothy puts it really well. Just read that.
Yeah, fuck it. Holy shit.
Well, it's okay. Well, it's totally backwards what I thought it would have been. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a dude out there. I'm not going to say his channel name, but I'm going to say, what's up, Coping with the Times, brother? How you doing, man? I don't think any of you guys know him. He's old school YouTuber.
Who's that?
But he used to have a channel called, well, I think he still does, Coping with the Times.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one. I don't know. We got way off subject here. We don't have to talk about that stuff.
Were we on subject after the school shooting thing?
We went from $300 meals to twist rated rifles somehow.
Well, yeah.
I started that.
It makes sense. I mean, you're leaving a tip, and then all of a sudden there's ballistics involved.
When I looked at the damn ticket, I was thinking about ballistics. Don't get me wrong.
See, now you guys ruined Blue. When he didn't know anything, he was actually better off.
It's funny because, like, when I get talking about it, I confuse myself. It's like, well, no, wait a minute. What did I just say?
I'll tell you right now, when it comes to long range rifles, I am not an expert. I just know if I pull the trigger and it goes bam, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Bam and not boom.
Oh, God, still out in the chat room. I got one telling me a 1 in 7 and another one telling me a 1 in 9.
I say go 1 in 8, split the middle.
There you go.
The latest I got, that stainless steel barrel AR I got, is a 1 in 8. 16-inch, 1 in 8. That way you're in the middle. You should be able to shoot about anything you want. It may shoot heavier or lighter bullets more accurate than the other. I don't know which one it's going to go, but if you shoot 1 in 8, you right down the middle. Fuck it, go that way. I see those 3 gun guys talk about 1 in 8 a lot too. So there you go.
There's all the info you need right there.
But I don't shoot precision rifles, so you know.
Not yet.
Dude, I can't
Me
see
neither.
yards.
That's true.
I
Right
live,
down the street from you is 1,000-yard range.
that's a fucking range. You got to pay to go to range. Fuck that. I will go to a range to do a match one of these days.
I'll tell you what, TR, it's fun. I didn't know that I had a range. Well, I mean, I say near me, but it actually takes like 3 hours to get there, and it's like 90 miles through the worst fucking traffic you ever drove. But it's worth it. Shooting steel at 500 yards is definitely worth the $19 entrance fee. It's fun.
He's all excited. John got to pling some good.
Oh yeah, I'm friggin'. I got the Jones in for the 1,000-yard range now.
Yeah.
I can't wait. You go boom, ding. I can't wait.
It's longer than that.
Boom, ding. Yes.
What type of freaking optic are you using to see shit out at 1,000 yards?
No, I haven't done it yet, but they're out at 500 yards. It's boom, ding. There's like a second and a half. It takes it to get there. It's pretty cool.
The longest shot I've made, where you did the shot and it hit the target, was about 3 seconds.
That's moving out. I mean, if you think about the velocities, obviously it's probably a pretty decent high-powered rifle.
It's 50 cal. I was on one mountain at another mountain. It was about 2 or 3 miles away.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't talking sniper rifle. I'm talking about the 50 BMG, and the targets was tanks and trucks. You literally bam, 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 and then let go of the toggle and wait, and it'd be like 2 to 3 seconds, and then you see your bullets hit. Ding, 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 ding. And you'd move your tripod. Okay, you need to crank up a little bit. Da, 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 and wait. And then once you was on the target, you just lay into it. Best I could figure, we was 2 to 3 miles away.
Yeah, that's a slow bullet, too. Those are badass.
2,800 feet per second.
3,000, over 3,000 feet per second.
Giddy up.
Yeah, you can watch.
But they slow down pretty fast.
It's like
watch 3,000. Okay, well, next time we're shooting over at the farm, you shoot the 50 BMG.
No, at 100 yards, it's like, yeah.
No, you can't see it at 100 yards when you're shooting.
The target is hit before you even pull the trigger at that point.
Yeah, you got to see because you can see it.
You could see the tracer rounds. You could watch the tracer rounds. Well, and that's kind of what you was basing it on. But then you seen the dirt fly up, and then you see the sparks hit the trucks, and that's when you knew, okay, I'm on target. You know.
That 50 was so fun. I was pissed at myself that I didn't shoot it in October. Or no, not October. March last year, March, because my back was friggin' killing me, and I was like, no, I just don't have any business friggin' shooting that gun. But then when I shot it in October, I was like, dude, this is fucking cake. This is like shooting a friggin' shotgun. This is easy. It's so fun. Oh my god, I'm gonna send a check in advance next time I go there. Buy extra 50.
Do a Thursday 50 day. That way you don't ruin.
The concussion off that Barrett is more than what it actually impacts your shoulder. It's just the sound and the concussion blowing back is more than what the gun does to you. Gun,
for sure. Yeah, they have great brakes on them.
Yeah,
and I think the people watching get more of a report than the shooter himself, just because the blowback is like at a 45-degree angle back. So if you're like standing anywhere off center from behind the gun or anywhere around the gun from there, it's like, damn, dude, how do you even?
Well, and you could be videoing it, and you know the guy's shooting, and as soon as he fires, you're still like, fuck. Like, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's like the pressure pushing you, but it feels like you're.
I know I jump every time. Every time.
You feel it. You feel it like move the shock wave move through your body. It's like somebody just like hitting you with like a little like sandbag in the chest every time the damn thing goes off.
I literally felt it in my teeth. I don't know if it was because I was smiling so much because I'd never been around one, and I was like grinning ear to ear when they were shooting. But I literally like it felt like when that wave hit you, like it hit your teeth and like traveled up above your nose, like it was following your teeth roots. Man, I've never felt anything like that, and I had a wood for hours.
I even held a camera up against a tree, and it's like, well, I'll hold it real stiff up against a tree, that way I won't jump. And some bitch went off, and I still jump.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even if you know the guy's gonna pull the trigger, like right now. True. Modern Mountain Man bought a bunch of 70 grain for his 1 in 9. Now he's like, dang it.
Well, Warthog put out there 1 in 7 twist on AR-15 is good for 55 to 85 grains. 1 in 7 twist is 55 to 85 grains. 1 in 9 twist 45 to 75. So that's why I said really either one of them. 1 in 8, and you're right. You pretty much load anything.
Yeah, I shoot like 68 grain most of the time.
Most of the barrels are 1 in 7, and you can shoot pretty much anything out of them.
Yeah.
Where you get in trouble is the really light rounds, like the 40s, where they'll just come out and start just tumbling.
Yeah, I don't even know why you'd buy 40 grain. I don't know.
I'll tell you why. I went to the gun store, and they had a whole bunch of Sierra little boxes of 50 grain. And I'm like, he's all, yeah, no one's buying this shit. I'm like, well, yeah, it's too damn light. And he's all, give me $5 a box, and I'll give you every one I own. And I'm like, all right. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with it, but it could be my.
That's good target ammo. I mean, you can still shoot it out of a 1 in like 8. It'll be accurate.
Just like, man, all that work into trimming cases and polishing brass, and I'm making nothing but
crap.
Expensive fake. Yeah, I would be with that shit. No, I'm making good bullets.
I don't even reload 223 right now.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, the
I'm
only
making
ones I
stuff
reload
to
are
shoot.
like.
I mean, if you're doing 6.5, 6.8, 300 blackout, what I get it. You got to reload that. But as far as 223, I don't shoot long range precision for one thing, but it's not worth the $30 I save loading 500 rounds when I can just buy a freaking Tula and just burn it up and not even worry about my brass or steel. I just burn through it. It goes back on short supply again, I'll start reloading it again. That's just me.
If you're building sexy shit like a couple months ago when Coda Boy was trying to build those 75 grain knockoffs that were trying to mimic the Black Hills match ammo, those bullets are expensive. Maybe you buy them off the shelf. You can't buy them like at 500 at a time. You have to buy them 20, like in a 20 box, and they're like $30.
$30. Yeah,
so that's what I was saying. If you're trying to hone in some precision ammo, absolutely reload it. But for me, what I do most of the time, just plinking, I can just buy freaking Wolf or Tula. I mean, if it's just plinking ammo, if my target's this big and all I got to do is hit it anywhere, that shit's good enough for me.
Easy.
That's right. Bam.
Now I got the capabilities, and I'm not. I know maybe I'm supposed to have more, but I know right now, if I'm not even going in there and counting, if I had to, I could load up 3,000 rounds of 223 without hesitation. I got powder, primers, shells, bullets, at least 3,000, if not more. It's not put together, but it's there. You know?
Yeah.
That's a good like insurance policy, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
I ain't
that's why I
saying that's
bought
all
those.
the ammo I got. I got cases of shit loaded already, but it's all fucking Russian shit, you know. But if I have to, if things tighten up, I can load it, you know.
Yeah, and I think having the supplies on hand is almost more important than a bunch of already made up stuff.
But I mean, even those our little competitions at Farmageddon or whatever, I always shoot steel ammo. And the last little run I went, that last one we had, I mean, with a red dot, I was dinging a fucking steel target at 75 yards with Tula ammo. It's like, it's good enough for that.
Yeah. No, it'll work for all that shit. 150 yards, all good.
Now, but I do agree. Now, if you want a pinpoint accuracy and you're trying for a particular load, or and like I said, any kind of Wildcat cartridge, absolutely, you got to reload that shit. But now, all my pistol stuff, I reload all my pistol stuff. But as far as rifle, as far as 223, I just been buying Russian shit. 8mm. Anything else, I'm reloading it.
Oh God, I don't know who set me over to Delta Team Tactical, but damn you!
Yeah, it was Bald and Curious. They have some great friggin' deals over there. I bought something. Bald put I remember what it was. I think it was like a Black Friday special, something. Or maybe it was right after. Maybe it was Christmas time. I don't know. But they had a deal on, it was either CMC or some other trigger. It was like a $150 trigger for like $65. I'm like, fucking sell me those now. Ever since then, I've been getting they send like 2 emails a day. And they have friggin' amazing deals on full uppers. They send you all the parts to it. It's like not built, but everything but the lower is all you need. And they're like, it's like pennies on the dollar. I can't speak to the quality of them because I've never bought anything from them like that, but shit,
It
they're
almost
just
sounds like
building
the
guns.
Palmetto State Armory, where they send you the whole thing minus the lower.
Yeah, the last kit I bought, which it was a Black Friday or something like that, I got a rifle kit. The upper was totally complete for less than $300. The whole lower parts kit, butt stock, everything. I mean, nothing fancy, just plain Jane shit. Stainless steel barrel. I mean, I had like 300 something bucks in the whole fucking gun. And I didn't have to put anything together but my lower.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
If I can put a lower together, anybody can do it.
I'm telling you, dude, it's cake. It takes like not even a quarter, less than a quarter of the time than it does a lower.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, definitely with putting the lower together. The first one I've ever done was trying to figure out how to get the springs put in and then get certain pins put where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You look up a couple cheat videos on YouTube and it's like, shit, I wish I would have done that first. I would have known what I was doing.
Yeah, you wouldn't have lost the spring as it flies out.
Dude, that thing flew out.
The hardest one is the spring and detent. The hardest thing is to do is spring and detent on the front takedown pin.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 9 million ways to skin a cat. It's super easy. once you've done it a couple times.
Now with those little threaded detent ones where the spring stays and all that shit, you know, where it's threaded instead. Tricky. It's pretty tricky. It's almost cheating, basically. The way I think of it.
Yeah, I seen somebody did a video, one where they had their, I think it was a Gun Wild anyway, had a polymer lower and it was cracking where the detent spring went in there, and it was like there's a replacement. You can put it in any AR. It's got a button with ball bearings that, you know, just stick it in there and let go of the button, and you're done. And there's no fucking with all. It don't look.
Yeah, I have one of those on my 80%ers.
Yeah,
There's no need for the
T-handle ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need the 80% anymore. Southern style 357 blue. Tighten the barrel 3 times. Exactly right. You tighten it and loosen it, and then you're almost like seating the barrel in.
Oh, I got that was what I for Christmas. I got a bunch of gift cards for different places, and I ended up getting 2 different kits. And one of them came with the barrel torque wrench and everything else. So I mean, I actually have the torque wrench and everything else, which, you know, is a Christmas present. So I can actually torque it down to specs. Which that's not a big thing. It's just I've never done it before.
Don't get like super hung up on torque to spec, because the spec is like from 45 to 70 pounds. You know, it depends on where the barrel nut, if you have that type of barrel nut with the little notches in it, you know, when they actually and where they end up actually lining up with the gas tube hole in the receiver. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, a tip: if you do start doing your own uppers, do yourself a favor and buy a jug, not a jug, a huge jug, but, you know, a little container of copper, not aluminum, but copper anti-seize goo, anti-seize grease, anti-seize, whatever you want to call it, and just goop the fuck out of the barrel threads when you do the, you know, you go in 30 pounds, come out, go in 35 pounds, go out, go in 45 pounds, come out, and then finally torque it to spec. But if you don't use that shit and you end up shooting that gun and decide one day, like 2 years down the road, hey, you know what, I want to change the handguard on this, you end up having to take the barrel off, you're going to need a fucking blowtorch to get that fucking thing off. Or either that, or you're going to have to put it in the freezer for 2 days so that the steel contracts, and the aluminum, because aluminum doesn't contract as much as steel when you put it in the freezer. It's a pain in the ass. Just get the anti-seize shit and you'll be very happy.
And you said that was copper anti-seize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use that.
It's like the exact opposite of red Loctite.
Yeah, I use that at work a lot. We use it on stuff we work on. Yeah. Yeah, aluminum, don't get the aluminum, get the copper. I've never put a barrel on a receiver, but I know just with heavy machinery, you use copper anti-seize.
Yeah, it's like dust. It looks like a copper toothpaste, for lack of a better word. Super goopy. But yeah, that stuff will save your life. It'll keep your barrel from seizing in the receiver. I have one that I put together just literally like 6 months ago. I broke the fucking barrel nut trying to get it off. And I didn't torque it crazy. You know, it was like probably around 50 pounds. But the thing is that the barrel nut is like this weird, it's like a collar. The hard part is up here, and then it's aluminum threads. So you twist it on. You're cranking on the hard part, and this part's soft. It actually broke one of the fingers that holds the two ends together. I'm like, all right, I'm not, if I turn this thing any harder, it's going to shred itself. I just like, okay, cool. I guess this is a permanent upper.
Calling it done.
Yeah, steel and aluminum, they'll fucking seize up big time, no doubt. All right, guys, it's been over 2 hours. Is there anything else we want to talk about real quick, or you want to say before we shut this off? I'll let y'all do an outro, but
I think we should all talk about twist rates again.
no, we don't.
No, that makes my brain hurt. Start off in the right direction, and it's like,
I'm going smooth bore. Fuck it.
yeah, get you one of those. What's the name of that company? With the straight lands and grooves.
Yeah.
Franklin Armory.
Yeah, there's a name now. It don't matter.
Yeah, Franklin Armory, but they're not an SBR.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, we'll let y'all do an outro now. I'm going to shut this down. I've been at work all day, climbing on machinery, as some of you seen.
Hairnet and all.
Hairnet.
You could be totally bald, you still got to wear a hairnet. It's crazy. Anyway, I'll go down the line. SoCal, would you like to do an outro?
All right, I get to do it first. I think everybody's going to back me up when I say, please go check out the auction, or not auction, but raffle for C-Max. Obviously, he's found himself in a little bit of trouble here. He needs to fly out to Houston to get some second opinion on some issues that he's got. And there's pretty much, you look on any of our channels, there's going to be a video that talks about it. And then Codaboy32 is kind of handling this raffle. So check out him as well. Donate $10, you get in a entry to win pretty badass competition level pistol. So anyway, enough about that. I'm sure you guys will back me up. Thanks for having me on, TR. Appreciate the links as always. I can't always be in here, but love doing it when I can. So everybody on the chat room, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being on here, and I'll tell you, if I hadn't already, if I send you a link and you can't get on, it's no problem. It's just there if you can. Rick, would you like to do an outro?
I sure would. Thanks again, you guys, all you guys out there in the external that support TR and his channel, and us helping him out as well. We do appreciate it. You're the guys that make it fun, asking the questions, giving the right answers tonight. So that's always good. So you guys get to babysit us because sometimes we're a little off kilter. But no, it's been a great time, and appreciate it as always. Thanks. And if you're new to my channel, go subscribe, damn it.
Yeah, I by no means have, I don't know that anybody's ever, if I know what the facts is, I'll try to back myself up, but at the same time, I have been wrong, will be wrong again, and I need corrected, and I will definitely ask for it if needed.
That's called being human, man.
Like, I think I'm right. It's supposed to be this way, right? Oh, no, I was fucked up. I had it wrong. I had it backwards. My bad. Blue, would you like to do an outro?
I'm just echoing on basically what the other two have already said. The C-Max raffle that's going on as a winner of the last AR rifle, it's 100% legit. Everybody that's out there that at least follows any of us knows it's all legit. Support the guy. He needs it. If in the future you would ever need it, that's basically the way I look at it. So get out, help out a fellow human, one of the great guys here on YouTube. And thanks for all the input out there. I got everything wrote down. And damn you, Bald and Curious, for giving me another website. As long as the wife doesn't find out, I'll be okay. But we're all good. So thanks for the great chat tonight, TR.
Yep, thanks everybody, and definitely I wanted to put a link out there, but I hadn't checked the videos out, so I don't have the link out on hand. But just like SoCal said and Rick, I know all y'all are we're all in one circle, and it's really a small YouTube circle. So I'm sure you'll see a video, save CMAX, hashtag save CMAX, or something to that effect. And there is a raffle going on. You do get a chance to win a gun. But the main point is the money's going to a good cause, because it's helping the finances of him being able to try to fight cancer, trying, to get better. So it's a very good cause. There you go. SoCal just put it in there. One of the links anyway. And with that, we'll sign off, and we'll see you next week. And most of you, I'll see you probably Tuesday. Bye.